Ep.3, Oracle Thoughts. Zine Williams, the host.
Malcolm Stokes.
Got my boy Malcolm out here, man. Ready to dive into it, man. Got some good stuff for y'all on the way. Let's get it on the poppin', man.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
It's only the right to start off with this San Fran trade with Miami, bro. That was crazy.
I'm a secret 49er fan. I always liked the team.
You're a fan of everybody, bro.
I mean, you know my childhood relevance with them. I like the trade. What do you think about it?
It kind of has more confused more than anything. Like, this team is really set up to like win a championship right now. Honestly, They got all the weapons. The defense, I mean, kind of speaks for itself. Sucks to lose Robert and Sherman to some degree, but like, this team is still championship ready. So what that message is saying is, I don't believe in Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't know if I'm ready to believe in a rookie quarterback to do it either.
I think with this, what I saw this is, you hear this term in a lot of sports, the one-year rental. I think Jimmy Garoppolo, they're kind of putting him on a one-year proven basis. I could see them drafting Justin Fields.
They are applying pressure, though.
He's a lot of people kind of consider him a raw talent, so it gives him a year to kind of get his red shirt the NFL year, kind of like Mahomes.
Fair.
And Garoppolo kind of got to win a Super Bowl to keep his job.
Low key, and I feel like I think that's the only thing that's gonna really save him, honestly. Because anything less than that is like, all right, bro, it's time to clock out, man. Like, we've given this run, and you know what I'm saying. Like, I think he should keep his job though.
I think it depends on how he plays. Like, if they go to the divisional or championship and he plays well and the defense drops the ball in the game, let's say they play Green Bay or Tampa and Aaron Rodgers or Brady goes crazy, I think that can save him. But if they got to call 3 quarters straight worth of runs and they lose a game, I don't see them lasting past that situation.
Yeah, like, I'm with you, man. Like, if it's anything shell of, like, you weren't the reason to be the difference maker, he's pretty much out of here. And it sucks, because, like, yes, he's been injured, I feel like that's, some of the reason why. But honestly, he's had a winning record with them guys.
That's a big thing, too. Jimmy Garoppolo, he was drafted so high by Belichick and them. He's kind of
got the Belichick stamp.
He's kind of been running off that reputation his whole career.
Right.
And shout out, I got a couple partners on the Niners, so I ain't trying to dish your boy here, but don't come for me. But I just feel like we still don't really know what he can do. He has 1 year of football, full season.
He brings stability
football.
though. He's not flashy. He's stability though.
He is, but the instability of his health brings instability to the program and organization.
I like the little play there. I like the little play there.
I was in the dictionary as a kid, man. I do this.
I feel you. But yeah, man, like, it kind of gives me more, like, I don't know what they try to do in general, but it was even cooler for me for, the Dolphins to trade up and trade back, and then trade back up to the 6, because that's really saying, yo, let's get a weapon. Let's get Kyle Pitts or Chase.
See, I think they're going to go after, I know people forget about him. We're in a microwave society, but Jamar Chase, this time last year, if he had entered the draft, would have been the top receiver.
But those like issues or concerns are fair though. You haven't played the whole season.
I understand, but
like, I believe he's raw. I don't think that he will come to the league and be a letdown. I will put that out there. But at the same point though, like, you haven't played in a year. How do I know that you've been training and making sure you get these reps in within the same year? You're not playing anybody.
Well, that's what the pro days are for. That's what the
bro. You don't show them pro days to show like what you can look like, not how you can apply them in the field. You know what I'm saying? I'm also anti against pro days / combine, but I'm a different guy for that. I don't care what your numbers look like there.
I saw a guy get drafted #1 overall and miss his final season due to injury. I'm talking about Sam Bradford. So if he can get drafted #1 overall for a franchise quarterback, break the bank. A lot of people forget that. I think Jamar Chase, who's proven what he can do, not off injury missing a year. Obviously, we know why he opted out. I'm rolling the dice on that because receiver, out of most of these positions, is the most plug and playable.
Fair.
Receiver,
especially today.
Yes.
Especially today.
Yeah. Especially with that team.
Nah, definitely for sure. And we look back at that. He's actually in the conversation for one of the biggest busts. And he's not Demarcus Russell or anything, but like, he's in a conversation for like biggest bust, in the first round. Or not the first round, first overall pick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I guess more in our generation. You got some back in the 80s and stuff, the Bosworths. The first overall, but those kind of guys like that in my dad's era. But I guess since when he was drafted 2010, from 20 in the past 11 years, he would probably be up there. He had a couple good years though. A couple playoff teams, but I never fell in love with him at Oklahoma either. I always felt like that was Jared McCoy, DeMarco Murray. I always kind of liked those guys. I loved Malcolm Kelly when he was there. His rap video.
That's my boy.
So,
that's my boy.
So I kind of felt like he kind of piggybacked off of that. So he felt very Matt Leinart-ish to me,
That's fair. But we'll see, man. Like, but as far as like what it means for Miami, it means like we're all in on Tua, and I can rock with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, if you ask me, Tua's a baller. I don't think he showed it too much last season. I think, obviously some of it with him being in limbo with, Ryan Fitzpatrick and whatnot, but, like, I think he can make it done. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you build around him and, I love, Brian Flores as far as, like, the mentality he's bringing there. He's changed the culture in Miami. Like, they're no longer, like, a laughingstock. I know they, would run up a game or two against the Patriots, but for the most part, they're not trying to be laughingstock.
When people judge Tua, they can't just leave it strictly to football because Tua had the hip injury, a very, very serious injury that ended Bo Jackson's career.
Yeah.
A lot of people think he's the best athlete ever. So if they can take him down, they can take anybody down. You got to also look at what was going on in the world. You had COVID, so you didn't have OTAs, so you didn't have some.
It was the worst year to be a rookie.
And then you just throw guys in, no preseason games. You forget that too. So he didn't get a chance. His first time he got in the game, I forgot who they were playing. They were playing somebody at home, and he came in at the end of the game. Mm-hmm. And then he comes his first game against the Rams as a start. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously they won that game, but his first game action was mid-season.
Yeah.
So some of those lumps and stuff you're going to take is going to happen.
He don't have the growing pains. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to go through them growing pains and, like, oh, this is how I'm not supposed to play because now I'm in a different league where I have to adjust differently. You know what I'm saying? He just has to take them, those licks and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying?
And I think we need to, if he gets a full off season under him, a lot like Cam Newton, if he gets a full off season, get a chance to train, get a chance to just be in the building, just learn the system.
Right.
Because it's not New England, but Brian Flores does come from New England.
Right.
So just get in the building, get a chance to get a full year under his belt before we can judge him. Because Joe Burrow only played 4 or 5 games, and I think he's amazing. But we haven't seen 16 in him either. So
that is the big, and I think he's going to be a straight player.
I think so. I think
he'll be straight. But let's not talk like we're just saying like this. I mean, I know we're in 2021 where ACL injuries, people come back from or whatnot. It's different, but it's a mental side of this too.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Like, let's see how this plays out. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's not stamp in. Oh, I've seen stupid reports like he's like the second best quarterback in the NFC North. That's blasphemous, dog. That's blasphemous, bro. As bad as Big Ben ended the season, that's blasphemous, bro. Like, it's levels to this, bro. Like, play a full season. Let's be 500. Let's be over 500. Let's make the playoff. Let's win the playoff game. You haven't done any of them. It's levels to this, bro. Like, stop skipping that stuff.
I think Pittsburgh, I heard you mention Pittsburgh, because a lot of people get on Big Ben. I think out of all teams that get a bad rap, particularly towards the end of the year, a lot of people jumped on Pittsburgh and say, man, they're terrible. Big Ben's awful. Did he struggle at the end? Of course.
Yeah, he struggled at the end.
But I think that is a more fixable team to make a Super Bowl run than people give it credit for.
Exactly. Literally, if they just replace a couple things in the offensive line and get back to running the ball, they should be fine. What they did last year as far as like running the ball, they were like extended screens. They would dump it off to Johnson or like Juju on a screen, sometimes Connor, and it'll be an extended run play. Mm-hmm. They just need to get back to like, we're going to run this ball down your throat. This what Mike Tomlin's makeup is. He's a real, I want to get physical. I want to let you know that you're not intimidating me.
And you got to remember, James Conner had COVID during the season as well. So I mean, we also got to realize we can't judge the 2020 season like 2017 or 2002, in 1998 because there's different circumstances last year that was going on. That home field, Heinz Field thing, with the terrible towels, they didn't have that.
Fair.
I think Cleveland's amazing, but do I think Cleveland could have went in there with the terrible towels and
oh, no.
That's hard to believe.
I don't think so either.
But who knows? We can't play that. But
I think it might have been calmer, saying that stuff as far as like when the season started, like, we'll come back and beat them because they lost, the last game against them, and it ended up being a rematch, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm never a guy that wants to play the same person over and over again unless I'm on the losing side of it, because you have more, you have more reason to like get up for this game. You have more motivation. Mm-hmm. Not to say that you don't if you win, but like when you lose, I got something to prove you, bro. I got something to prove you. So those are games that's kind of tricky. I was just surprised to see that game came out the way it started off terrible. Like the first play of the game, the snap goes over his head.
Yeah,
it gets ugly.
Nothing, I believe it got up.
Yeah, it got ugly, bro. Like, and honestly, I'm grinning because you deserve this because you were talking so much, off the lips. You know what I'm saying? Like, and even after you lost, Chase Claypool comes like, "Well, they're gonna lose next week, but they beat you. They beat you." Or Chase Claypool. Yeah.
Chase Claypool, man. I got a lot of respect for your game, man. You're better than that.
Yeah, he's a baller, bro. Yeah. Like he's gonna be a problem.
And I think that's the thing when you look at Pittsburgh. And I don't know how many Steelers fans is on there. I ain't trying to bump you up like, this is still curtain. But Juju was a great number 2. And I think everyone knows he's shown as a number 2. He's great. This year they found a number 1. Claypool's only going to get better.
They did.
So if they can get that running game under control.
Yeah.
Because I remember this time last year, there was people saying Tom Brady's done. Because in New England they didn't have a lot of weapons towards his last year.
Yeah.
They ran the ball in Tampa, got him some weapons. Obviously you saw the defense. We all know the result, number 7 for him. Pittsburgh is kind of in a similar situation. They fix about 1 or 2 areas. You got a draft coming up. You won 12 games. You won your division.
So do they? Because this, it's a cool segue for this. Because obviously, it's been reports that they're supposed to be Big Ben's last year. Mac Jones might be on the board at 24. What do they do with that? Because if you take Mac Jones at 24, you're obviously saying like, we already know Big Ben's out of here. But it's not a let's go for broke, or is it like let's invest for the future? They have to answer that tough question.
I think,
like, is it worth going to broke for? You know what I'm saying?
You got to look at, is Mac Jones better than what you already have in the building? That's the first question you got to ask. Is he better than Rudolph? Is he better than my boy Dobbs? Is he better than them?
Well, I'm not necessarily say Dobbs. Well, I don't know, but I know he's definitely better than Devin Hodges and Mason Rudolph and them cats. Okay. Dobbs, I feel like his mind is really great. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
I think that's where you can keep him there. You know what I'm saying?
So that's what I'm saying. Like, if you feel like he's better than what you got in the building, then you make that move. But you also got to really, really be careful when evaluating guys that have that 1-year wonder in college football. We see it happen time and time again. People have a great 12, 13 game run or a great 6, 7 game run, but, we act like it was 3 years worth of work.
So do we put it off? What you think?
If you had questions for Tua, A.J. McCarron, Matt Leinart back in the day, if you have questions for some of these guys, I heard people questioning Joe Burrow for this stuff, for so much talent, then how do you not put that same thing? I don't blame people. I went to an SEC school. I understand that. Playing football, you always want to play with the best.
Right.
Which is why I try to take my career where I took it. That's why everybody wants to be measured up against the best.
Of course.
But if you're going to evaluate players and say, well, if he plays at this good of a school, he's not that good, then you have to. If you're going to criticize the previous guys for that, you got to criticize him for that same thing.
Nah, no doubt.
I don't think that's fair, but that's the can of worms people have opened.
Nah, for sure. So we'll see, man. Like, I personally would like to see them like get Mac Jones, just because like that'll let me know what their mindset is coming into the season.
Right.
It's let me go for broke. I mean, let me build for the future instead of going for broke. And as a Ravens fan, I want to see that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to see you invest in the future because my window for winning a championship is pretty small. Like, I think I have maybe 2 years, and then I might be screwed.
I think that, Pittsburgh, once upon a time, the Giants, those teams used to always never fire their coach. Well, Pittsburgh never does, and the Giants for a long time never did either. Mm-hmm. But they would always have a succession plan with their quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Obviously, we could talk about Eli Manning. A lot of people forget Kurt Warner was the quarterback.
Yeah, he was.
You can argue who had a better career between those two.
That's fair.
But a lot of people don't understand Pittsburgh. I remember when, they had Cordell Stewart, they had Neil O'Donnell, then they had Tommy Maddox. Big Ben comes in. So you got to understand they've always kind of been in that succession plan. But you can't draft a quarterback. Let him compete for a year. Let him see what he can do. I don't think the Sam Darnold route that I heard rumored for a while was good because I think Sam Darnold's a broken player. I do think he is.
He is, but to be fair, and I was never the biggest fan of Sam Darnold coming out.
Me either.
The Jets didn't really help him, bro. I can't really roast, they didn't really help him. Like, your best weapons were Jameson Crowder. Right. I love my boy Lawrence Cager. Shout out to my boy Cager. They picked him up. Brashad Perriman, who was really a bust, for the Ravens. They picked up Denzel Mims, who, was the second rounder last year.
Right.
They didn't really do enough to really support him. This is the first time that they've actually done something. They went out and go get Corey Davis. You know what I'm saying? Like, not a bona fide number one, but a player that
He ascended last season.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was like a top 7, top 8 pick, I think, in 2017, something like that.
In top 5, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, because it was him, it was John Ross, and I can't remember the other wide receiver.
Yeah, he was the first one taken that year.
Yeah, it was a crazy one between 3 wide receivers, but they were like top 10 or something. And we're finally starting to see Corey Davis coming to his own.
Well, see, this is where sometimes you got to look at, is it the player or is it the situation? Usually it's a mix.
Fair.
But Sam Darnold, I always felt like that year that he really busted on the scene, USC, they started 1-3 that year. If he starts that opening game against Alabama, which was the game they got beat with 59-10 or some crazy score like that.
Yeah. We probably think about him differently. You're right.
If he pulls that game off 38-35, then I can say, you know what? This cat deserved the hype he was getting.
Right.
But when you're coming in at 1-3 and then no disrespect to the Pac-12. I got partners. I got love for y'all. I got no disrespect to the Pac-12. But you ain't known for defense.
Real.
So when your games is 42-39, against Arizona or Arizona State.
Yeah.
Like I said, no disrespect to those players. Don't get mad, but I can't really say it's the same when you had a chance to go against the top dog.
Nah, for real.
And the game in the Rose Bowl they played Penn State.
That game put them on the map though. That game put them on the map.
Right.
Like after that following season, it was all Sam Darnold's this, Sam Darnold's that,
right.
And he really regressed. If we really want to be honest with you, granted Juju left. That season, but he regressed, bro. But Michael Pittman was on that roster.
So you can.
You know what I'm saying? Like USC still recruits wide receivers.
It's funny you say that. You said Juju left. So some of his hype train, was that more Juju?
True.
You see what I'm saying? It gets very true. He's a very hard player to evaluate because some of his hype might have been more. Juju in college was a beast.
He was.
Still a good player. I know people get on him for the YouTube. I watches you. I'm subscribed to him. But, I think he's amazing.
Yeah.
Shout out Juju. But a lot of people got to understand, was that more of a Juju thing? Was that just guys just galvanized because they had a new quarterback in there? Because
Mm-hmm.
you got to understand, the two quarterbacks they had when they were 1-4, those guys ended up transferring. Those guys, a lot of guys probably didn't believe in those guys in the locker room.
Uh-huh.
So they probably just needed a new voice, a new face to believe in. No disrespect to Sam Darnold, but I think I never got into the Sam Darnold hype. I will say publicly, I thought Josh Rosen was better. Yeah. And obviously that's age.
He also was someone they never really gave a chance to either. Like literally, they drafted by the Cardinals, and that offensive line was the worst offensive line literally in the league that year. We don't talk about that enough. We don't talk about that enough.
Shout out Larry Fitzgerald for sticking through that team.
Yeah, shout out to Larry. Larry, a real one, bro. He's the guy that just brings his helmet in his work box and he's gonna go to work every day. He's not gonna complain. Great company man. But literally, the worst offensive line in the league. The following year, you give up on him? Come on, bro. And literally, it's just Larry Fitzgerald. You try to do what you do with Christian Kirk. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't too. David Johnson was hurt that year.
Right.
What is he supposed to do? What is he supposed to do?
I think when it comes to some of these situations, I look at Arizona at the time because I love Larry and some of the teams that they put out there. They hired a coach. We're going to see how good Kingsbury is because you got talent.
Yeah, literally, if he doesn't at least make the playoffs this season, he needs to be fired.
I agree.
Give him the same courtesy that you were giving Steve Wilkinson.
Right.
And honestly, you gave him more.
I feel like in college, he was below 500, right around 500. He gets this #1 pick, and then they get the heist of all heists from the Houston Texans not too long after that. And now, because it's such a attractive team, attractive destination, attractive place for older players to live and older people to live in general.
Yeah.
It's easy to sign free agents there, but people forget the Cardinals started 6-2 last year.
They did.
6-2. If you don't win your division, you should be in the playoffs. You should. If you start 6-2 and you go 4-4 down the stretch, you're still 10-6.
Bro, they proceeded to go what? Did they go 8-8?
Right.
So they won 2 games and lost the rest of them.
They flipped their record.
That's crazy, dog.
And you got to understand.
And nobody's talking about Cliff. That's not in the media enough for me. That's the kind of stuff that kind of blows me. That's not in the media enough for me, bro.
Because when the media finds people they love,
they swear by them.
They never really. If the media finds somebody they hate, they over-hate the person. Or they find somebody they love, they put a pillow down for the falls.
Yeah.
And if they find somebody they hate, they find a way to knock down any accomplishment they have. They say Cliff Kingsbury, was a great ascending young coach.
Uh-huh.
But I've heard things about Mike Tomlin when they're trying to put him on a hot seat for going 12-4.
Bruh. that take is the craziest thing to me in general. Like the things that Mike Tomlin has like gone to war with, it's kind of wild, bro. Like literally many seasons with Big Ben will get hurt on some elbow stuff, or he gets hurt because that's really he's been an MO. He'll have the year in between. Well, he'll miss like 8 games, and it just be like Big Ben status, and he'll be like, whatever. I just go out there, whatever quarterback. We'll casually go 500. We'll casually go above 500.
Pittsburgh never go under 500.
Yeah, they don't fool with that, bro. Like, and that's the kind of stuff that I'd be like. I don't think people pay too much mind to that. Like, not everybody can do that.
I think when people, particularly the media, when they judge certain teams, you can't guarantee a Super Bowl. If Tom Brady never played in the NFL, right?
For sure.
If you look at the greatest quarterbacks that's ever played, pretend Tom Brady never played, right? So you got Joe Montana would have been the only guy that he won 4.
Yeah.
Same with Bradshaw. You got to look at how many people really rifle off 3 Super Bowls like that. Brett Favre was amazing. Aaron Rodgers is one of the greatest players I've ever seen in any sport. You know what I'm saying? You got to look at some of these great players. John Elway didn't win
till like much later in his career.
His last 2 seasons. Yeah, literally his last 2 seasons. I mean, he didn't win. And he was known for, he was kind of like the choke artist. He was the stat guy that always lose.
Slick was Peyton before Peyton.
Yeah, I mean,
for real.
So, but Peyton is another guy who was a beast. But you got to understand that some of these teams, like we always say, well, if they don't win a Super Bowl, it's a failure. Football is the heart. You can't guarantee a Super Bowl. It's not like basketball.
Of course not.
Where in basketball, if you get 3 top 10 players,
you're probably in good hands. You're probably in good hands.
You'll be up at least 3-1 in the finals.
Yeah.
you'll be at least.
I like what the Nets got on, but yeah, like literally.
You see what I'm saying? But in football,
talent always just don't win. Like you need a system and you need everybody on the same accord.
It's the ultimate team game for a reason. So like, if you're telling me a guy's at 12-4, if you're telling me teams are 13-3 and they're underachieving, and or 11-5 and this isn't a must-win year for Cleveland or some of these teams, you're against them. But you're telling me a team that was 8-8.
Go scot-free.
That's
that stuff that I don't fool with at all, man. Don't fool with that at all, bro.
So what are some of your, as we're talking football and project the next season while recapping on last, what are some of your winners and losers in free agency?
For me, the first team that kind of stand out to me is the Browns.
As a winner?
Yeah, and that's obviously I follow them a little closely. These people are going to play twice a season, and I got to compete with it. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Getting John was big, bro. Mm-hmm. The one thing I feel like they were struggling with as far as like a solid defense.
Right.
They have Myles Garrett, you know what I'm saying? Who probably a top 5 offensive, like outside linebacker, DN, whatever you want to put him at. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Denzel Warzo, he's a baller. You know what I'm saying? Greedy Williams, if he stays healthy, I think he can do some things. Mm-hmm. But they don't have any other leadership behind that. John can do that. John can bring that leadership that they need. You know what I'm saying? I like that a lot. I mean, the linebacker core not all that great. I like Matt Wilson, dude from Alabama.
Right.
The defensive front is not all that great either, but John was a big come up for me. I really fool with it. I don't know where to get all this money from, bro. I seem like every offseason they're paying somebody differently, bro. Last season it was Austin Hooper. Before it was Odell. Before it was Jarvis. Now, you know what I'm saying? Like, how you always get this money, bro?
Shout out Jimmy Haslam for the money.
Like, they always come up on bread, bro. And I'll be like, yo, when are you going to be salary cap hell? Does that exist for you?
I think I like that pick as a winner. The easy pick for me is obviously Tampa Bay.
Oh, yeah.
But I will say this. It looks like whatever's going on with the Antonio Brown
and they might mess around and get Jadeveon Clowney.
I saw that too.
Yeah, like.
But I will say this.
That we will be in trouble. Listen, Ravens, beat them to the punch. We're struggling at outside linebacker with Yannick and Matt Judon leaving. Go get him. Don't worry about, don't play the game as far as, we'll wait and see. Go get him. Take it off the table. He's cheap now, too. Like, he didn't play last season. His contract be no more than $7 million. Go get him. You got the money for it.
But yeah, I want to see Lamar on the big stage. So I would love to see it. But I will say this. There's 2 teams that aren't considered winners right now that are one, like, if Baltimore were to sign Jadeveon Clowney, I know y'all got Sammy Watkins, but if you get Jadeveon Clowney...
Don't do that. Don't bring it up on here. Because actually, we'll get into that later, bro.
If Green Bay signs Antonio Brown, right? not only do you get a Hall of Famer, but you take him away from Tampa. So that's
Right.
2 for 1. Baltimore, if you get one of those players I was mentioning, if you look at a team like San Francisco, who looks like they're trying to bring the band back together from a couple years ago. The thing that they were missing that year, a lot of people get on Jimmy G, I understand it. Emmanuel Sanders was your big play guy. Now, granted, I know you got some receivers. As far as a receiver, I know Kittle was tight end. I was just talking about as far as a receiver. They had Sanders. Could you imagine?
If he was in that system? Yeah,
oh my goodness. If you could call Cleveland and they're saying, hey, look, we don't really like Odell like that.
I thought it was about to come off of him, but at this point, it looks like they don't stick with him, which is it's cool. You know what I'm saying? It's cool for them.
So if you can't get Odell, go get a free agent. That's what I'm saying.
Real.
He's out there.
Real.
You're going to have to score points. As great as your defense is, you still got to score. Your defense is better than Kansas City.
Agreed.
Kansas City just hit you on. It was the one play everybody remembers from the Super Bowl. That was the difference between the game. You know.
Fair.
One of my partners was out there. I ain't gonna get into the play, but everybody know the play.
Your boy Mayo.
Hey,
your boy Mayo.
He's a beast though. He's balling. He's a beast. Shout out E-Man.
Yeah, he's a baller though. He's a baller.
But and he had a hell of a season. Shout out to his new contract. He deserved it.
Yeah.
But you gotta understand, man. Like San Francisco's always been a big play wide receiver away. Now, I know they got Hurd. Shout out Hurd. Jalen Hurd. He's been hurt for 2 years. If he comes in and he plays big, if one of these younger guys, Deebo Samuel, some of us take that next step, then that's different. But with all that being said, you can fix your problem. Don't worry about what the media and New York Times and all that's going to say. Give him a call. Don't let him get off the phone without a contract signed. Just docu-sign it, whatever you got to do. Yeah. Get him out to the Bay if you're trying to do it. Trent Williams want him.
I feel like they're playing too much, though. Like, the longer they wait, that means he's going back to Tampa Bay. Like, the longer they wait, he'll be okay, well, I'll just take less money and come back. And we'll run this back.
You see, that's why you got to come in. If Tampa's offering, let's just throw a number out there. These aren't numbers I'm hearing. But let's say Tampa, just for the sake of people at home, they offer him $4 million, right? I offer him $8 million. Make it to a point where it gets, I love the Godfather. Make him an offer he can't refuse.
The thing is, though, like, nobody still wants to touch him, which I don't understand. Like, obviously, we see the whole meltdown, with the Raiders, the Steelers stuff. I've always said, like, he wasn't at fault for that. Like, Big Ben just, like, an entitled little boy. Like, he literally doesn't take blame for anything and calls everybody else out when they mess up. That same season, he says James White messed up on a route, calls him in the media. He does the same thing with AB. Literally, bro, like, that same season, you threw like 5 picks of Jacksonville. Comes in the media and was like, yo, it happens. No, give me that same energy, bro. Give me that same energy you had towards AB running a wrong route or James Washington not catching the ball. Give me that same energy. So I don't really fault him for that. I think he was, entitled. Now with the Raiders, he was wilding. I've told you this.
I will agree with that.
He was wilding.
I love AB.
He was wilding.
I'm tripping there. It's funny because one of my really, I got a lot of friends that were in Pittsburgh at the time, but one in particular, he was telling me stories. I'm not gonna get into it over the airwaves, but he was telling me stories of tension between the two.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get into exactly why it was, because we're not gonna have that. This ain't a political show, but some of the issues that were going on wasn't all Antonio Brown. I'm gonna just leave it to y'all to speculate. It wasn't all Antonio Brown.
Fair.
There was stuff going on in society that had a lot to do with that. I'm leaving it at that. So, but you look at the case he had. That is, people always say due process. Never saw a court a day because it was found to be unfound accusations.
Right.
What happened in Oakland at the time? Okay, the helmet, whatever stuff went on. He paid for that. Yeah. Obviously, New England was more about the case situation. But he went to Tampa. You got Tom Brady who begged for this man to go there. Lamar Jackson coming off an MVP begged for this man to go there. Russell Wilson is currently begging for him to go there. Those are 3 of some of the most respected players in the NFL today. Fair. So if you got those guys, you think Tom Brady's going to put his
word
on the line for that?
Yeah, nah.
You think Russell Wilson is going to put his word on the line for that? Lamar Jackson? I know some people around him. He's not going to put his career on the line and his word on the line for a situation that's not going to work, especially with him and his cousin being there.
Right.
I just think, like I mentioned earlier, when the media gets on you, they don't get off.
Fair.
He's done everything he's supposed to do because there's been other receivers that have had more scheduled pass, that have big podcasts. I'm not going to get into some of the names, but some that have made mistakes before. We forgive them. Hey, things happen in life. Yeah. And you move forward. Because you can still do good even though you made a few mistakes. That's life. If you think you're perfect, go look in the mirror.
Nah, for real. And I feel like we are moving, and this is kind of like going off on a tangent here, like people are not allowed to like have mistakes. Like it's certain things that you shouldn't be doing in general.
Mm-hmm.
But like we're not all to the point where you can be forgiven for something.
You're not allowed to grow no more.
Yeah, like and that's what kills things. You know what I'm saying? Like let people to grow. You know what I'm saying?
Honestly,
Like
I'm a big one of that. If we held everybody accountable for what they did in their youth, you know
imagine that came out.
I mean, come on now. Like, I think I'm a pretty squeaky clean guy, and you can still find dirt on me. Russell Wilson's a very squeaky clean guy.
But if you look,
find dirt on him.
Yeah, if you look close enough to anything, you'll find it. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody that don't walk this earth, everybody that's watching this, just repost this or whatever, they've made mistakes too.
Fair.
So what I'm saying is, I'm not here to get into all the other stuff. Antonio Brown, he did his punishment.
And he served his punishment.
He served his punishment. Yeah. And right now he came back, he balled. He didn't have no noise down there in Tampa.
No noise.
He
and that's why I can vouch for him right now. Like I didn't when this past offseason came around and they were entertaining AB. I kind of wanted to put off on that. I just went through Earl Thomas, acting a clown.
Mm-hmm.
I can't afford another situation like that. So let's hold off on this. Especially in my mindset, I'm thinking AB's role could be very similar to what I envisioned Marquise Brown doing. I'm not calling him Hollywood publicly at this point. Mm-hmm. I think he can, regain the name. But after rewatching some of the things I've seen from this season, he dropped the ball a lot, bro. Mm-hmm. I think he can be a baller. I don't think he can be a bona fide number one, but I think he can be a really good Showtime player.
Imagine what he could do with I know that's his cousin, but as a locker room, and that's why they brought Dez there. Obviously, Dez is brought there, for some production, but as a big brother to those young guys.
Yeah, that's why I was on board with the Dez hire.
Imagine if you get a big brother to the young guys, and he's producing.
Yeah.
I love Dez, but he was off for a couple years. It's going to take some time for him to get back to that. Imagine if you got a guy like Antonio Brown, who can still ball with the best of them.
Yeah.
And if you look at his career, his numbers, you can stack him up with anybody.
And
I do mean anybody.
Yeah, anybody.
Imagine a big brother like that, and your big brother is still doing his thing. He's still in his prime. He's still balling. He looked pretty good in the Super Bowl to me. Kansas City had a hard time with him. You look at I think they played Atlanta the last game of the year. You got 14 catches and got the bonus. The man can still play. The man is I know his best friend. The man is a workaholic. The man is a guy that loves football. Can he be a little high strung? Yes. Can he be a little?
But he's been tailored, bro. Like, and that's why I can't really knock him at all. Like, he's tailored, cool. Like, I stamp him going anywhere at this point because it shows that I can have some kind of manners. I can play with some type of control. I'm not gonna be wilding out. You know what I'm saying?
And if I'm the GM of the Packers, the 49ers, Baltimore. I know you got Watkins. I pick up my phone. I don't let him get off without a DocuSign. I get him there.
Bro, let's get back into this Watkins thing, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I like him at Clemson. I love him at Clemson. I thought his career was gonna be a lot better than what it is now.
Yeah, he had the Julio comparisons.
Picking him up right now at this point, it's like we tried, we did something. No, you didn't, bro. No, you didn't, bro. Listen, this is my biggest thing with this. If you look at the top teams in the NFC, AFC, whatever, they all have a bona fide number one. And I'm not saying we need to go out and get Julio or we need to go out and get Adams or somebody like that. But just somebody who can clearly be a number one. You know what I'm saying? I think our issues were more than just wide receiver, but yeah, that's something that we need to talk about too. I think our center play was awful. I think our guard play was awful. And I think when big moments came to take place, it showed. And that's what the best competitors do. They bring your weakness out of you.
In football,
like the fact that you cannot bring a number one wide receiver, and you always want to say the system, but money talks. Mm-hmm. Throw that thing, and people will come. This guy just threw 36 touchdowns a year beforehand. People respect Lamar. This whole nonsense if he can't throw balls is bullshit. Y'all don't believe that. And if y'all do, he won an MVP. And if you I'll do it twice. I'll do it twice. You know what I'm saying? Them taking in Sammy Watkins is literally them saying, we just want to be cheap. We don't value wide receiver. Literally, if you ever look at the Ravens when they win Super Bowls, they make a big play on a big wide receiver or tight end. The first one, Shannon Sharp. The second one, Anquan Bolden. You do it again, you'll probably have the same results.
Here's the thing. You got to look at it. I think Lamar is going to end up, if nothing's done, on the hierarchy of current quarterbacks, particularly young quarterbacks, they're going to continue to move him down. You look at the quarterbacks, right? Mm-hmm. Patrick Mahomes is outstanding.
2 number ones.
But Patrick Mahomes has one of the greatest tight ends that's ever played, a receiver who's on the path to be one of the greatest receivers that's ever played, and a plethora of weapons, a great old line, They usually are 4 deep at running back, of names. I mean, heck, they had Le'Veon Bell as a 3rd stringer this year. That's a guy that's going to be on the Hall of Fame ballot. People don't understand. They had LaShawn McCoy last year. That's a guy that's going to be on the Hall of Fame ballot. That's not even seeing the field. So what I'm saying is they keep talent there. You look at Josh Allen, who's particularly Lamar's more of his contemporary.
Go get Stephon Diggs. You know what I'm saying?
Josh Allen was ascending, and they said, what can we do to speed this treadmill up?
Bro.
Let's go get the best available receiver on the market at the time.
Bro, my biggest thing is, bro, as a Ravens fan, we care so much about our defense, which we do. I love defense. It's what made me want to be a fan of them. The moment Derrick Henry said they ran down our throat, they said, no, that shit won't happen again. I'll go get Calais Campbell. I'll go get Derek Wolfe. I'll get Justin out of Texas A&M. That won't happen again. Literally, you're seeing the same thing, and now you're putting half-ass effort into it. So, and you know what it's going to do? It's going to show.
And I think what's going to happen is Buffalo's going to keep going away from you.
Bruh.
Unfortunately, Cleveland's going to keep ascending.
Right.
You're going to obviously Kansas City's going to go. We're just going to keep this to the AFC. Now we're not going to speak on Houston. We don't know what's going to happen there. We're going to pretend they're off. I'm just using some of the great young quarterbacks. But what if Tua gets it together this year and they add weapons with him?
Bruh.
What if you give Tua 2 weapons?
I even seen, Devontae Parker was supposed to be a rumor trade for us. And I would be cool with that, honestly. Literally, I'm not going to say he's a top end number 1, but he can get the job done. You know what I'm saying? And I would give up no more than 2nd rounder. Cool. Have at it. You know what I'm saying? It just seemed like you're not showing the same energy for like this. And it's clearly a need, bro. It's clearly a need, bro. Just showing the same energy you did for Derrick Henry, abusing us.
I just feel like I don't want the narrative around Lamar to be he doesn't play well in big games until he gets that same offensive support that Buffalo is giving Josh Allen.
And my thing is, you can't do this when you're paying him $3 million a year, bro. What you think gonna happen? Like when he got to break the bank like Dak just did. Now you really gonna be struggling.
Well, see, I think some organizations hide behind.
We had this talk too.
They hide behind. I want to be cheap. A lot of these organizations, to be a player in the league, you got to be one of the best athletes that's ever lived. That's just a fact.
No, that's true.
Not
anybody can just wake up and just be a football player.
To be a GM, you don't have to be one of the greatest talent evaluators that's ever lived. You just really got to be an organization. There's a less higher degree of difficulty. It's a tough job to get. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, at the same time, I can't be a GM tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
But Mike Mayock had no GMing experience.
You just got to know people.
He was on the NFL Network.
You just got to know people.
He was cool with John Gruden. Now he's doing it. Heck, at that point, why might not make Stephen A an NBA GM? If you're doing that, why stop this? Make Mel Kiper the GM of the Falcons. Let's keep it going. Todd McShay go GM the Jaguars.
Don't make Mel Kiper my GM, bro.
Well, I'm just saying, just going from the TV draft evaluator like Mike Mayock.
He's another person they allowed to get on TV and say things and they have no accountability, bro.
So on Mayock or all
Mel? Really, all of them. Todd McShay, Mel Kiper. You know what I'm saying? And I fool with Mel. He's a Raven guy. But he just come on lay here and just say stuff like. They really had the nerve to say Cam Newton should have been number 1.
Blaine Gabbert should be.
Blaine Gabbert. They were huge Christian Partner fans. Do you remember that guy?
Of course, I watched Florida State, man. My thing is one of the best things I like doing. I do it with the NFL, I do it with the NBA, I do it with all the sports. Years later, I go back and you can YouTube when this team drafted somebody, and when you see somebody get drafted, I like to listen to what they say. Yesterday, I was watching Peyton Manning and Ryan Leaf. And they were talking about how it's a debate between the two. Is Ryan Leaf has got more talent than Peyton, has, that age. I don't even know what age is worse than milk, but whatever age is worse than milk, that's how that age.
It's looking like the sewers.
I look back on when Jamarcus Russell got drafted. I look back on with some of these guys that turned into great players, what they were saying about him. I look at him in both sports. I look at it what they were saying about Aaron Rodgers when he got drafted. Do you know when they were saying about Aaron Rodgers, they called him a project? Just go. I mean, everybody, y'all got YouTube. Go look at it. So I find joy in that. I watched when they drafted Mahomes. These videos got 10 million views because these are funny videos to look at now.
Yeah.
I watched when they drafted Sam Darnold, like we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold was supposed to be the most NFL-ready quarterback in that class. And
Dan O and your boy Cowherd still swears by him. And like I said, I have to be fair about my analysis on him. They haven't really supported him.
Okay.
Therefore, I can't really kill him. You know what I'm saying? I can't say they've given him all they've done is really give Le'Veon.
Okay, I'm gonna use that example and take everything else away from. I ain't trying to talk about the Me Too movement and everything, but Deshaun Watson ain't had no support this year either, and he led the league in touchdowns.
And that's why I say it's levels to this. You know what I'm saying?
See what I'm saying?
There's levels to this.
So you can be bereaved of weapons, and we still know what you can do. Deshaun, I ain't getting into all this other off the field stuff, but as a player, he was bereaved of weapons, and he still showed us, you know what?
Yeah.
This man is a bona fide superstar. That was years Russell Wilson didn't have options, and he was still going 11-5 and going to the second round of the playoffs. You see what I'm saying? So I get you, Sam Darnold. You didn't have no weapons, but there's been guys in the league that didn't have this great amount of weapons. Aaron Rodgers has done it.
Yeah.
Brady has done it. I mean, you know, there's been guys that didn't have weapons.
That's the difference, though. We're not talking about, you know, your traditional quarterbacks. We're talking about, like, my kids will probably know who that person is. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's it's levels to this. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, that's what he's just not in that level of class, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying?
I understand. So what you think about college coming up this year?
I'm glad I'm about to go there now. Mm-hmm. It's kind of crazy. I really want to get into this Mac Brown stuff, but got to start with this UGA George Pickens stuff, man. Like, tough one, man. Tough one for me, bro. Like, we're losing number one wide receiver. It sucks. And I don't want to be a typical Georgia guy to be like, we're going to be okay. But if there was a position that we could afford a loss, I'm not going to lie to you, it's probably wide receiver.
Okay.
I hate it, bro, because literally George Pickens is our leader. He brings a dog mentality.
100%.
He allows people to be themselves and be like, I can do it, so you can too. You know what I'm saying? You remember JT's first start?
Of course.
And this is why I didn't like him at USC. I thought he was pretty terrible. So when he transferred over to Georgia, I was like, this is bad. Like,
against Arkansas, I believe, wasn't it?
Nah, he went to USC.
No, I'm talking about his first start at Georgia was against Arkansas.
Oh, yeah. Well, nah. He didn't play till midway through the season.
Yeah, it was against Arkansas.
Nah, we played Arkansas the first game.
What game did he start?
It wasn't Arkansas, bro.
Sure?
It might have been Mizzou. Hold on. Let me look that up, bro. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. It wasn't Arkansas because Arkansas' first game, DeJuan Mathis was starting.
Okay.
And, you know, Stinson came in and played or whatnot. Bro, why is this game all taking so long?
That's actually, I do remember it being Mizzou. I do remember that.
Yeah, I think it might have been Mizzou. No, it was Mississippi State.
Okay.
It's Mississippi State, and this man was just bombs away. 400 touchdowns, 4 yards in that first. 73% is actually pretty wild. Literally, and he comes in the press conference and says, yo, we recruit the best people out here. Use them. I rock with that, bruh. It's that simple. Yeah. I got the best people out here. Use them, bruh. And literally, it sucks to lose George Pickens. We still have Kyrus Jackson back there. Blaylock comes back. We have Darnell Washington out of here. The Aaron Smith. The other wide receiver we got that towards ACL against Florida, I can't remember, bro. Name. Literally, we are wide receiver, not wide receiver galore. We have some kind of depth.
One of your strengths.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, we should be okay. And obviously, with, you know, Zeus coming back, with James Cook coming back, with Kendall out there, with Kenny Milton out there, like, we're fine. My only concern moving forward this season is how our secondary plays, because we have Kelly Ringo that's going to be out there, you know, at the right corner, who, you know, is a top 5, you know, recruit or something like that, or number 5 recruit.
Right.
They got the Nyland Green from Covington. Shout out to him, COB. They in talks of getting this transfer from West Georgia, and we bring back Lewis Killeen. Probably my favorite player at Georgia right now. I just love his mentality. He plays the game the right way, and he's still physical in a game in which we are kind of escaping physicality. So he brings that kind of dog mentality. I kind of fool with him. That's my only real concern. If Kirby can pull this off, I don't think he really can this year. I'm just going to be honest with you. I think I've seen enough. And, like, something will go wrong with him, and he'll not say when something takes place, something will go wrong, but he'll over-calculate for something that didn't have to do. You know what I'm saying? And that always kind of stabs in the back. Can he get out of his own way?
I think Kirby, I think he's a good coach.
Yeah,
I think he's a good hire. I like Kirby Smart. Obviously I'm a Tennessee guy, so I would love to have Kirby Smart, just being completely honest with you. But it's always one move, particularly with him at that quarterback position.
But we had to.
Now you got that now. But I'm saying, now that you got that, are you afraid another one of those is gonna come up at another position? There's somebody that's on that squad right now, you know, that deserves.
They also been talking about Justin Robinson, the wide receiver. Like, he's a sophomore this year.
There's a guy right now that should be playing. That something may happen. You know what I'm saying? That happens at every big time school.
Of course.
I can confirm that for you.
Of course.
But it feels like, I don't want to make this comparison to how you jump up in arms, but the Georgia Bulldogs give me very kind of a Dallas Cowboys kind
Yo,
of
like Mike just said this in the last episode, bro. It's levels to this, dog. Like, I was in the national championship 3 years ago. Bro, you haven't been to an SEC championship game in 25 years. It's levels to this.
I agree with that, but what I was thinking of the great Stephen A. With something can go wrong, will go wrong. You know, it was more of that situation. So I guess in this case, more of a Atlanta Falcons.
That's what I would go for, Atlanta Falcons.
Or I was going to say San Diego Chargers, but whatever city of the Chargers in, something tends to go haywire. You see the talent on those teams, but for some reason it goes left when it don't have to go left. You know, I do believe if you had that boy Fields starting,
we wouldn't be in this situation.
You have a championship.
We would have. And I'm not here to argue that in general. Whatever. You can't cry with spilled milk. Mm-hmm. It happened. We're in 2021. Justin Fields is no longer a college athlete. Mm-hmm. JT Daniels my quarterback now. Let's move forward. You know what I'm saying?
But I think in the East this year, I just hope Tennessee wins 6 to get in the bowl, 6 games.
6 games? That's how long we going? Ain't y'all bringing back our Harrison Bailey?
Like I said, we just got to get 6 games.
You don't believe in Harrison?
Like I said, man, just got to win 6 games. I'm not going to get too deep into that, but just give me 6. Give me 6 and 6.
6?
Give me 6, man.
Bro,
you can get 7.
So let's hear a power ranking of the SEC East now.
I'm going to roll with Florida at 1 still. I know they lost some people, but they still got some people. Because I think Mullen...
Really? I like how Dan is fearless, but he's like... I think where he misses is he doesn't have accountability for his team. And you can see that. They do stupid stuff. You know what I'm saying?
They're a talented / undisciplined team.
Yeah, and that's going to always bite you in the butt.
Mm-hmm. But I still think that's more so bites them in the butt against Alabama,
They lost to LSU because of that.
No, well,
and LSU was on a down year last year.
I understand, but I like it. I love Ed Orgeron. I would love to.
Shout out to the shoe.
I would love to have played for a guy like that. That man's amazing, man. I think they're going to bounce back this year. A lot of people kind of forget there. Yeah. I think they're going to do all right this year. But the East, I'm going to just go Florida. I can see Georgia knocking them down. There's a bunch of wild cards after that, man. I mean, you got Georgia. I mean, you got Missouri. You got South Carolina. You got
South Carolina gonna be disarray. They fired. They brought on Shane Bain. Like, and even the class they brought in was not all that good.
That's what I'm saying. After the top 2 in the East, it gets real question mark on down. It's question marks all the way. I mean, Kentucky's the 3rd best team in the East right now.
No, that actually is a interesting point though. They are fighting for 3 or 4. I would probably have Mizzou at 3.
But those are the teams. Mizzou, Kentucky. That's why I brought them up.
Now that you say 6, you actually are making that's actually very valid. Like,
yeah. I
can very well see Kentucky being the 4th best team, Mizzou being 3, y'all being 5, South Carolina being 6.
Mm-hmm. Vanderbilt,
they're always the worst of the SEC though.
Right.
Am I missing somebody else?
Nah, that's it. Because it's 14.
Okay. Yeah, you know what? I can understand why you're saying 6 is probably what you're aiming for. That makes sense.
And if you set your expectations low, if I say 6 wins, you give me 8. Hey, look.
Y'all are going through disarray with the whole Jimmy Pruitt thing.
But if I say give me 8 and you give me 6, now I feel like I'd rather go low and us hit high. So let's go for 6. Let's not lose no non-conference, no Georgia States, no BYU's. The whole reason Zach Wilson even got all this hype.
It's because of y'all, bro. Because of y'all, bro. Because of y'all.
Georgia State, they had billboards all around Atlanta after that game. You would have thought Georgia State had won the Super Bowl after that game. So like I said, just keep the embarrassing losses. If you're gonna lose the Bama, all that's cool. You can live with that. But beat the teams out of the conference you're supposed to beat.
Fair.
If you play Savannah State in the opener this year, beat them. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Beat them. Don't do all that other stuff. Just knock them down. Because college football is better when you got the blue bloods, like the Tennessees, like the Alabamas.
They're starting to lose their blue blood, though, man.
I mean, it's still got a lot of history there. But
listen, you haven't won not even the SC East in like a decade, bro.
I understand, but
it's getting kind of
outside of a lot of people forget this. Outside of Florida, though, no one in the East has won a national championship, since '98, since us. So when people particularly and coming from that conference, they usually talk about the West when they're talking about the big dogs. You know what I'm saying? That's usually what they're referring to. So I think the East as a whole has got to look at it.
Because the big dogs have won things. You know what I'm saying? Like Auburn's won things recently.
Like I said,
we don't got to talk about Alabama. LSU's won recently, twice within 2 decades. You know what I'm saying?
And since the turn of the century, it's been, other than Florida, no one else in the East has won nothing. Like I said, the last winner, and if y'all don't believe me, I know I got stats at the back of my head, go look it up. No one else in the East has won a national championship since Tennessee in '98. That's a long time.
Fair. That's fair.
That's a 23-year-old right now. You know what I'm saying? This person is out of college by now. You know what I'm saying? So you got to understand, like, the East as a whole has to pick it up. You know, Kentucky, but it's a basketball school. Vanderbilt, I mean, it's a world-class. That's the Stanford of the South, a lot of people say.
I always want to give, like, hidden shout-outs too, man. This hidden shout-out I want to give to that man, Mac Brown.
Mac Brown, I see you, man.
Yo, what he's done with North Carolina, I feel like it's not getting a lot of. They've never been a football school, never, bruh. And literally, they're in a conversation for the second best team in the ACC.
Every year now it seems like. Ever since Florida State kind of took a nosedive, you know, obviously Louisville took a step back after Lamar.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been, you know, between them and Miami, really, it's been between those two.
Yeah, and it's not even like. I guess you're the second best because this is trash, but they're a good team. Like they play Clemson to the wire.
They won a conversation for the playoff football.
Yeah,
the past few years, you know.
Exactly. I like Sam Howell. I need to see you take another step though, man. Like you kind of regressed a little bit last year than what I was expecting.
I will say this. I'm not gonna make the bold hot take. I'm not gonna go Nick Wright on you and guarantee something, or Max Kellerman and guarantee. Okay. If there was ever a year for North Carolina to win the ACC,
is this year?
This is the year to do it. You don't have no more Deshaun. You don't got no more Trevor Lawrence.
That DJ guy look like
he's great. Like I said, he is a beast.
DJ guy look kind of nice, bro.
But I will say, if there was ever a year to pull off, you know, to change the guard for at least a year, if you want to do it, this is the year to do it.
I can go for that.
You know, and if there was ever a year that there can be new blood in the playoffs, this is the year to do it.
I can go for that, man. Like it's no like uncertainty top dog now. Because like, I mean, Alabama just rebuilds and reloads, so you know you can never say they won't be there. But you don't know what Bryce Young's gonna look like.
Yeah,
all the wide receivers that you know are gone. Like obviously they're gonna re-up with some guys that we probably never even heard of until now. You know what I'm saying? Or you know whenever the season starts. You know what I'm saying?
I think that you know if I had to name the favorites, I mean it's gonna still be pretty much the same. But North Carolina, they could do something. I don't want this to age bad because I could see this turning into a terrible team.
I believe in Mac, bro. I believe in Mac.
But I just think it's better for sports. You know, I like seeing the new teams win. I remember when Golden State, you know, basketball was a terrible team when we were kids, and then they went on a run. That's good for the NBA because it was somebody different. I like seeing, you know, Tampa Bay or, you know, Kansas City. These aren't the most historic teams in the NFL, you know, kind of at the top dogs right now. I would love to see, you know, Clemson is a new, you know, they're not a traditional blue blood from the 70s and stuff like that. You know, they're not Michigan or Notre Dame. I like seeing them doing it.
Yeah.
North Carolina, if y'all hearing this, please get to the work because I would love to see
just a new team.
Man. I would like to see just a new team in there because you know Bama going to be there.
Yeah.
And if Bama ain't there, Bama going to be there with another SEC team. It's who is there going to be two. That's what they always question.
True. That will come down to.
So, you know, Florida going to, you know, usually.
My only thing with Florida is I don't know if they can really if they can replace Kyle Pitts right because I mean they brought in the Gilbert guy who committed to LSU and then transferred to Florida, but he decommitted just on some like I've been seeing some speculation as far as his grade's not good, is why he's not going to be able to play. So I don't really know, and you know Jones, the number 5 guy with dreads, Emory Jones.
Right, yeah.
I don't really know the spec from him. You know what I'm saying? Like, he is a good runner. You know what I'm saying? Like, I haven't really seen him connect on deep passes when I see him in the game. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know if they holding him back, you know?
Yeah, I want to try to see some of these spring games.
They're not even having a spring game. Did you know that?
A lot of people aren't, yeah. I think
Florida cheating the system, bro. Like, have a spring game, bro. Let me see what you're going to be looking like to some degree.
I think I did see a couple people considering it. I don't know if, you know, it depends on your state and laws. Like I said, we ain't getting into all that. But, I do want it to be. I do want a regular college football season because I don't think people understand with no fans in the stands, right? And this is coming from a guy that was a former college athlete.
Uh-huh.
The fans in the stands in college sports is unmatched. When you got 100,000 people in there, 96,000.
They took the biggest hit.
You know, and now when you got some of these stadiums, 6,000.
Yeah.
You know, so when you go from 102,000 to 6,000 or something like that, that's a whole different animal.
Yeah.
That's a whole different game. You know, a lot of guys make mistakes because of that. And a lot of guys get a little extra pump of juice or two because they hear that. So, you know, look, I ain't no politician. I ain't no doctor. Please allow fans in the stands for college football because that, out of all the sports, college football
they get off on that energy, man. That energy they get from fans, it carries people, bro. Mm-hmm. Especially when you're not making dollars. Your bank account not gonna carry you. The fans will right now.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm with you. Like, I would like to see it. Obviously, I want to be safe about it. I probably won't be going to any games this year, just to be, you know, full transparency with you. Mm-hmm. I might probably go out and you know, maybe pull up to Athens and, you know, maybe watch a game, you know, at a bar or something, or you know, at an environment to some degree. You know, depending on what we look like, I think we should be fine by that.
And I'm gonna go ahead and put this proclamation. I will go with you. You know, I will go with you. If we say we're going to 2 college games this year and y'all hold them to it, I will go to Athens. You know, I will go to Athens if you say you will consider going to Knoxville. I'm gonna put that on the table.
I've always enjoyed myself in Knoxville.
This is recorded. You know, this is film. This is footage. You can't delete this or destroy this.
I've always enjoyed Knoxville. Like,
okay.
I've had fun there. So like, listen.
Y'all hear him? You know, y'all hear him? You know, I'll go behind enemy lines for this year. I ain't doing it every other year. I ain't doing this when I'm 42. You know, but the year post COVID, I'll go behind enemy lines for you.
Hey, bro, I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
Okay.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, man.
Well, that's how here we have it, man. Episode 3, Oracle Thoughts. My man Malcolm, Zine.
Appreciate you.
You got any kind of questions, concerns, or any kind of 2 cents y'all want to have? Put it in the comments, bro. Like, I'm trying to, you know, get better at this and definitely give me a 2 seconds on it too, man. So again, Oracle Thoughts, Zine Williams. Appreciate y'all.
Hey, man, it's a pleasure being here, man.